Greetings and welcome to episode 224 of the Words About Gamescast. I think I'm going to get punched in the face. the weekly video game podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, and I'm joined by Mr. Daffy Moody. Okay. I was like, am I going to get hit? I mean, I know that's not physically possible, but... What did I do? We haven't even started yet.
You know.
I don't. Is it the Silent Hill t-shirt? I don't.
That's Silent Hill t-shirt?
Yeah, it's the Lakeside Amusement Park.
No.
It's the place you go in Silent Hill 1 and 3. And in 3 has the bunny mascot. The terrifying bunny mascot.
A boy shirt. Boy, read it.
I was thinking it was God of War. Nice.
Boy.
Well, both
the only thing that was missing from that teaser trailer.
Yeah,
read it, boy.
Or like anything apart from a single logo. Read it, boy.
Yeah. Just said that. Everyone, you don't even have to do the noise. Dun, dun, dun. Just have to say, read it, boy.
Not it. Nothing. Not even a title screen. Just ends on that.
Ragnarok is coming. See you in 2021. We hope. We think.
Yeah.
It's 50-50.
We'll see. I don't know how many people actually think that's going to happen, but we'll find out when we do our Fantasy Game League drafts next year and see if anybody actually believes. Because if you believe it's coming out and you don't draft it, you're crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, it's 50-50. Really is. Whoever grabs it, it's going to be like the same type of thing with the Avengers thing for me this year. It was like whatever way it's either going to double-edged sword. It's either we're going to get great reviews, or it's going to get crap reviews, or it's going to be middle of the road where it just hurts me enough where it's going to be a pain in the ass. With God of War, it either comes out
or it doesn't.
Possibly guaranteed at least a minimum of 20 points minimum. If it is at least half as good as the last one, or it doesn't come out and you don't get any points.
It's a Breath of the Wild situation.
It really is. It really is.
Guaranteed a billion points or none. There is no in between.
There is none. There really isn't.
That's
Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah, like Marvel's Avengers. I've still got that. I took the disc out when we did the podcast last week.
Yes.
I haven't put it back in yet.
Are you waiting for, and now you're breaking it?
Yeah, no, but it's alright, I've got another one.
It's alright. Remember, I need that copy back still to work.
Do they check them? I don't know if they check them.
They do something, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know I'm playing Hades instead.
I start Spiritfarer today.
Cool. Nice.
About 2 hours in, give or take. I'll say this, it's arguably the most beautiful game this year.
It's one of them. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty. It is a sexy ass game. I'll give them that. I really like what I've played so far, but I haven't got into the deepness.
Takes a while.
Makes you cry.
It made me cry. It did make me cry, and I haven't gone back to it since. Not because it made me cry, just because I was thinking it was something else, and I was playing reviewing. I need to talk about some of that later on. But this isn't a way the segue doesn't work because we were actually talking about games. This isn't a video game podcast. This is the Words About Gamescast, which is actually a video game podcast, where each week we discuss what's going on in gaming, the games industry, and gaming culture over the past week. In this week's episode, like last week was Xbox, I said it in the podcast last week, this week's is the PlayStation one. We thought we would get away with doing a PlayStation 5 showcase video, and then that being that, and then we could talk about other stuff on this podcast, and Sony had other ideas.
They always do.
They always do, bastards.
Good or bad, they always have other ideas.
So we will be talking PS5 stuff, but the stuff about the games that were shown, the stuff about the immediate aftermath. We might touch upon some of it. We'll touch upon some of it as we talk, but all that stuff is in a separate video on YouTube. If you were looking for that, go check that out. It was a fun video, mostly.
It was. After researching a couple of more things and everything like that, and after going over the thoughts you were talking about, I was thinking, was maybe just a little spoilers into it, a little bit lenient. Just a little bit.
I knew you were going to come around my way of thinking eventually.
Well, coming round is just... I was
yeah.
like, alright, shit happens, okay, fine. It's not good, but okay. But I admit, yes, they fucked up. They haven't messaged things the best ways. I admit that. I'm a big enough man to know when I'm wrong.
Good.
Thankfully, I'm barely wrong, so that's all right.
But I'm never wrong, so you should have just listened to me in the first instance. After we talk about that, we got a bunch of other stuff to talk about, including the NPD. Then we'll go over all the new game announcements from the past week. We'll give you a content drop where we recommend some articles you should read and some videos you should watch. We'll tell you what games are coming out over the next 7 days before we play OpenCritic head-to-head, where we'll try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming video game release. And lastly, we'll wrap up the show with a post-show discussion to chat about whatever's on our mind. Might even be about video games.
Video games.
A couple weeks ago, he did sports. And just sent everyone watching packing, I'm sure.
There's no Formula 1 this week, and football.
And I don't care. I'm not as into the playoffs now, hockey playoffs now. My team is gone, so.
Hamilton is still winning the F1, guys. That's all we need to know.
Shocker.
Soon to be a 7-time world champion. He's going to tie Michael Schumacher. Then Michael Schumacher will suddenly be all fine, unretire himself, and then win it again.
Fuck that shit. I need an eighth. There are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube, so you can skip around if you want to look for specific things, or you want to skip past certain discussions we're having. Or if you just want to watch the whole podcast backwards, we don't mind. We're just glad that you're here.
I also just want to quickly say, I hope Michael Schumacher is doing as well as he can be.
Yes. But this isn't an F1 part. No, I've already done that part. Let's just do the news. I forgot to add the J.K. Rowling bit that you sent me in the chat the other day.
Oh, yeah. I just love the title. The article's great as well, but the title, I just thought, finally, someone's doing something.
Yes.
Someone's putting something.
Someone put the actual issue in the headline. Great.
Mm-hmm. Didn't beat about it.
I'm really enjoying watching all of these games people. It's not journalists and YouTubers and streamers and personalities and whatnot. I'm really enjoying watching them all attempt to morally justify playing Hogwarts. I don't know. I find it funny. Like at this point, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Do you? I'm tired. But that's not what we're here to talk about. I just realized as we were talking before, I forgot to put it in. And I wanted to mention that, yes, she probably didn't have anything to do with the game, but she's still going to make a lot of money off of it, because that's how IP works.
We'll see, she had more to do in it. A lot of people think so.
I mean, she also created the entire world, so she definitely had a lot to do with it. Like...
No, but I mean, when it comes to like what they can and can't do and everything like that, she's
probably.
Very protective.
Yeah,
so
I
a lot of things they would have had to throw through because she owns the IP. It's not Warner Brothers who own the IP. That's the thing about it. I know the article's a great article and everything like that, but I can guarantee you right now, she will have more sway on that than a lot of people bloody think. But we're not here to talk about that, Amy. We're here to talk about Sony.
Yeah, we're here to talk about Sony. Sony apologizes for PS5 pre-order fiasco, says more are coming soon. It's from Gabe Gerwin over at GameSpot, who writes, following September 16th's PS5 pre-order fiasco, which saw the console go on sale at 7 retailers without proper warning, I'd say without any warning, Sony has offered an apology. It also promises that you haven't missed out on your chance to get the system this year if you couldn't snag a pre-order earlier. Writing on its official Twitter account, PlayStation said its pre-orders could have gone a lot smoother and that it would be releasing more of the systems for pre-order in the next few days via retailers. Big stores such as GameStop, Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, and Target already began selling the console, with many running out of stock in mere minutes. Some of these stores, including Walmart, have allocated a small amount of systems in the few days since, and Sony also held a lottery of sorts to determine who could order the PS5 directly from the company. For those who got into this, it appeared they had a relatively high stock, possibly because bots weren't able to buy any of them. The issue was that Sony said it wouldn't be opening up pre-orders until the following day, and had even told the Game Awards producer Jeff Keighley that there would be ample warning before they went on sale. In contrast, Microsoft said the exact time it will begin pre-orders on the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S already, September 22nd at 8 AM PT, 11 AM ET, which is...
About 5, 6 p.m.
6
for
o'clock
us.
for us. 6 o'clock? No. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 o'clock?
We're 12 hours behind us, aren't we?
No.
No. Yeah.
No.
There's so many hours behind us.
There are, yeah.
East Coast is 5 hours behind us.
September 20, look, September 22nd, just turn the fucking... Go to your website of choice and just start refreshing the page.
Exactly.
That may not mean everyone who wants one can order one, but at least it levels the playing field. The new Xbox and PS5 are scheduled to release just 2 days apart on November 10th and 12th respectively, with the top-end models both costing $499. Their internal specs are very similar, with the Xbox Series X being more powerful by a slight margin. Everything's fine, Moody. They said sorry.
Everything's fine.
Have had so many DMs off people. Do you know how to get a PS5 pre-order? Do you know how to get a PS5 pre-order? Do you know? And I'm like, listen, dicks, I don't even have a PS5 pre-order. And obviously I didn't say that. I was just like, I don't know. They're all sold out everywhere at the moment. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know. It's Sony fucked it. I'm well aware. Trust me. I'm a gaming YouTuber.
You should stop telling people that you do that outside of your work, because you might not get hassled all that many times then.
I mean, it kind of... I see that in principle, I see where you're coming from. That kind of runs counter to the whole thing of trying to get people to watch the videos. Like, what do you do? Do you have a YouTube channel? No, I don't have a YouTube channel.
No. I thought, no, I don't.
No. But yeah, I got a lot of DMs. People.
What's back to him would be, do you watch YouTube? No? Then no, I don't have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Do you watch YouTube? No. Okay, cool. Yes, I do.
No, I don't have one. Yeah, okay, let's not beat about Sony. They fucked up. We all know they did. There's no beating about the bush about it. It did not go well whatsoever. We all know that. It was not a great thing. It was a slap into the face to all those people who are saving money, vice versa, like yourself, Amy, to try and get a console and everything like that. I'll say congratulations to the people who have got one. Well done for that. You were one of the lucky ones. And I feel for all the ones who tried to get one and weren't able to get one, and just justifiably are right to be angry and annoyed at Sony. Sony, for me, at the same time, have done the right thing to come out and say, we fucked up. We admit that. We apologize for that. They've said the right things for me. Now it's just like what we said on one of the other places that have apologized a while back. Not Ubisoft, because they're Ubisoft. Or Activision, because they're Activision. Or Blizzard, or whatever. You know what I mean. It's like, okay, now come back and prove it. You've said more consoles are on the way. Fine. Prove it. Make sure this is going to be spot on for the people who are still waiting to get a console. Make it right. That's the only way they can do it to truly make it right. Yes, people will still be annoyed, vice versa, you, Amy, and all the other people and everything like that. But they've done the right thing here. But it is, like I say, it's not going to... people are still pissed off. But what can you do at the end of the day? What's happened has happened. They're doing the right thing. Just fix it. And if they can fix it, that's all that matters. Well, if you come back next week, if they get some out, or the week, 2 weeks, and you get one, fantastic. They fixed it. And everything, yeah.
I'll be happy.
And people are still going to miss out. That's the thing about it.
100%. What's
weird
is...
people, if you know that, okay, it's coming. We're gonna drop pre-orders. We'll just say on the 22nd of September, along with Xbox, just to be pissy or whatever. And they said it's coming this time and everything like that. And you're there and you get one. That's fabulous.
That's amazing though. Like,
and that's all it is. That's all
I want to know what happened. Like, it's my big thing. Is like I want to know how this happened. Like, so I'm waiting for the Jason Schreier article, or the Patrick Klepek article, or someone like Wesley and Poole at Eurogamer just to do the thing of like, here's why this went tits. Like, and I have a feeling the answer is because PlayStation panicked and wanted to get their pre-orders out before Xbox.
Probably. I think that's the more logical point right now. There's no doubt about that. The only other thing I can think of is that the other companies, the stores and all like that, jumped the mark. That's the only other plausible thing for me. But I won't lie, the first one is probably the more likely. I don't deny that.
Could be a combination of the two.
But or even that, a combination of them both, basically.
Knowing Sony's communication issues in 2020, I wonder if like the day, the time and date was poorly communicated to the retailers, and some of them just went, the showcase is over, we've got the price and the release date, boom, turn the pre-orders on, bam.
Yeah.
And then more retailers saw that they were doing it and were like, oh shit, we turn ours on. And they all disappeared through the night.
Yeah.
And now they're up on eBay for ridiculous amounts of money because Scalper's got a hold of a lot of them.
Please don't do it, ladies and gentlemen. I know you may want one, just don't do it. Don't give them the satisfaction.
Well, that's the unfortunate side effect of this, like the way, because of this happened. It's like the Scalpers got a lot of them, clearly. Because they were always ready for shit. Like bots. They have bots that pre-order this stuff. But in terms of fixing it, there's another story I want to read now, which is the next one, where it's like, I'm confused by the statement of, we're going to send out more PlayStations, combined with this statement from Amazon. So this one is, Amazon is telling those who pre-ordered PS5s they may not get them at launch. This is from Rebecca Valentine over at GamesIndustry.biz. He writes, Amazon is warning those who pre-ordered a PlayStation 5 from its listing that they may not receive the console on time. In an email circulating on social media and confirmed by The Verge, Amazon tells purchasers, quote, they may not receive this item on the day it's released due to high demand, end quote. It's unknown what impact this might have come launch day, or how late orders could potentially be. Meanwhile, all other retailers with listings for the PS5 had already sold out by early yesterday, which was Friday. And an invite-only pre-order linked to PSN accounts directly through Sony also appears to have sold out after going live earlier.
That day.
Friday probably. So yeah, it's like Sony are planning on sending more PS5 allocations out to retailers. On the one hand, to like make up for the pre-order fiasco, but then on the other hand, Amazon is sending out emails saying, hey, you pre-ordered a PS5, but you might not get it on launch day. So I don't know whether there's crossfires between just the two statements of Amazon not knowing if they're getting an extra allocation and maybe letting too many people pre-order. But those two statements when put together don't gel. Like, they both can't be true. Unless Amazon's just getting none of them, which doesn't sound likely.
Yeah. That doesn't sound likely. Amazon are billion-dollar company. There's a reason why they're that. I think it's twofold on two things here. I think one, it's Amazon covering their back because obviously with the high demand and obviously with what's going on in the world with COVID and everything like that. It took me 2 months to get a shirt one time, and I was just like, but normally it would only take 2 weeks, and it took 2 months. And their thing was just like, the things going on, we're trying our best, yada yada yada, and I could respect that. And I think it could be something like that as well for them as well. I think Amazon are possibly just jumping ahead of the gun here to say, one, yes, they put Sony in a bad light if they don't give them extra consoles. We know they're going to get extra consoles, but it all depends how many do Sony actually have here, because there's been conflicting numbers and everything, but we don't.
Yeah, we've had rumors that they're 4 million short of what they said. PlayStation themselves have said that's not true. We're going to have more PS5s ready at launch than PS4s. It's a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it is a bit of a mess and everything like that. And right now, this is the thing. until the things happen, we kind of have to go off from the product person itself, Sony. Sony, the ones who are saying they have it, so we kind of have to believe them to the higher amount than the other companies. But for me, anyway, yeah, I think it's just a bit of them covering themselves and also putting Sony in a bit, pushing back at Sony. Maybe if they've had some back and forth, saying yo, and all like that. And I think it's just a bit of that.
I think Amazon were one of the last companies to go on the pre-orders as well, so
yeah,
they might be a bit pissed that they were given a heads up. Because it sounds like no one was.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like, until we get that article, which I agree will probably be coming, when it'll come, who knows? It'll probably come about a couple of days before the release of the PlayStation.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'll be like November. Like October, end of October, beginning of November.
Something like that, yeah.
Here's what happened. Here's why you don't have a PlayStation 5 coming here.
You've already wrote the title already. Yeah. And everything. But no, yeah. I think it's a bit of that, personally, for me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said on the showcase, it's like the more I thought about it, like I'm annoyed that I couldn't pre-order the thing. It's like literally the first time I've ever tried to like get in on pre-orders of a new console on the day the pre-orders go live. Like the last console I bought at launch was the PS4, and I that was like a last minute thing. I got a tax refund, and I was like, what do I spend this tax refund on? I was like, the PS4 comes out in like 2 weeks. So I went around the web and I was like, does anyone have any? And I got like this £500 package on Shop2 because I got a PS Vita with it.
Nice.
And I was like, sweet, I'll have that. Yeah, sure. Like I had the money. So. And then the other time was the Wii, which I did that story on a podcast. And
yes, you have, yes.
And that was last minute as well. That was literally last minute. But like, I'm annoyed that this is the first time I've gone, I'm going to get a pre-order as soon as they go live, and I haven't been able to get one. I'm like, God damn it. Normally I approach this way more haphazardly, and I'm much more successful.
You should have done it how you normally do it, Amy. You probably would have been successful.
Yeah, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I'm not too terribly bothered. Like, the games I would cover from the PS5 launch, like Spider-Man and Sackboy, and maybe Bugsnax if it comes out, like, are all going to be on PS4 anyway, so I'm going to be able to do that either way.
That's been revealed, though. If they were staying as PlayStation 5 exclusives, you might feel differently.
Yeah, if they were still PS5 exclusives, I'd be mad as hell right now, because, because I'd be missing out, like, 100%. But, like, I don't know, I'm just not that mad anymore.
Yeah.
Because
that
like, even if
softened the blow.
Even if I don't get the PS5 till like January or whatever, like I'm still gonna be like, all right, cool. Like I'm gonna miss out on Demon Souls, which I wasn't gonna play anyway, and Destruction All Stars, which I'm sure is gonna be a fun game, but it's not high on my priority list of the games that are coming out in November.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Oh, the bloody Call of Duty is probably going to be backwards compatible for at least the next couple of years.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Cross-gen.
These consoles have got, like, a couple of years life left in them. Just from, like, third parties keep wanting to sell on 100 million plus user base.
Just next time, Sony, tell us early instead of trying to be...
just actually, tell us. PS6, just tell us when you're going to put the pre-orders on.
The funny thing is, at the beginning of the year, I was saying they're going to do the same as Xbox. They're going to have the same games that are going to be probably playable on PlayStation 4 because they've got 110 million, or at the time, 100 million units out there. They're not going to alienate them. And then they start saying, no, we're going to alienate you.
No, we're going to alienate you. And everyone was like, okay, it's a cool strategy. It differentiates them from Xbox and what they're doing. And you know what? I respect it.
Yeah, we both said that. We said we didn't agree with it, but we understand it and respect it.
Yeah,
we see where they're coming from. We don't agree with it because it comes across very anti-consumer, but we understand.
Flash forward.
Flash forward.
And we were just mugged. We were mugged, really. That was it.
We really were.
Playing us for idiots, and we just swallowed it. Speaking of backwards compatibility, still on PlayStation. We'll still be on PlayStation for a little while yet. Sony makes it official PlayStation 5 won't natively support PS1, PS2, or PS3. This is from Sam Makovec, I think. Sorry, I apologize. I should have sounded it out before. before I did this, from Ars Technica. He writes, Wednesday's deluge of PlayStation 5 news mostly revolved around brand new content launching alongside the console on November 12th. Lost in the fray was a key detail that confirmed an August leak about PS5, its lack of sweeping backward compatibility support. In a Wednesday interview, Japanese gaming magazine Famitsu asked Sony Interactive Entertainment chief Jim Ryan about the new console's compatibility with PS1, PS2, and PS3 discs or downloads. Ryan explained that PS5's specific engineering meant the design team was mostly focused on, quote, the simultaneous use of high-speed SSDs and the new DualSense controller, end quote. This prevented Sony from delivering compatibility with older consoles. Ryan told Famitsu, even though he made clear that Sony wanted to support PlayStation 4's $100 million by developing compatibility with 99% of PS4 games since, quote, we thought that they would like to play PS4 titles on the PS5 as well, end quote. The announcement doesn't clarify whether PS1 games purchased for use on PS4 will transfer to PS5. It also doesn't mention the existing ability for players to stream older generation games to PS4 from the PlayStation Now Cloud subscription service, or whether we should expect that functionality to seamlessly transfer to PS5 in November. SIE reps did not immediately respond to Ars Technica's questions about those possible features. I mean, PlayStation knows a cloud streaming service. That's going to work day and day on PS5. It just is. That's how cloud streaming works, right? The PS5 is doing none of the work, so there's no reason for it not to work.
Yeah, like it's just confirming what we all thought, especially for the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if it's anything they're going to do is emulate it, which is going to be going through the cloud, which they already do with PlayStation Now and everything like that. So yeah, that's not surprising whatsoever for me. I understand. No, okay. I'm in the middle of. I understand and I don't understand why this really is that big of a deal. Is it ultimately because Xbox can do it, and they can go back you can go back to so far on to the original Xbox, and everything like that. I'm just like I understand. I like playing some of my old games, and all like that, but it's not the biggest.
No, it's not the biggest. I'll give you that. Yeah. It's definitely a new console backwards compatibility, regardless of how you feel about it, is not the biggest deal. Because obviously it's the new experiences, it's the new games. Like that's why these consoles are being built for. But like I think it's a bigger deal than we give it credit for. Purely because like we don't take that much advantage of backwards compatibility. But even though it's available to us on arguably like both our primary platforms are Xbox. Like for both of us, arguably, like and I've done it. I've dipped in and out of backwards compatibility, but I also just replayed all the old Resident Evils and I had to emulate them. So, like, I can see why it's really annoying because even when you go on the PlayStation Store to like if I search on the PlayStation Store for Resident Evil 3, I'll find the remake, obviously, but you will also find. Like, not if you're on your PS4, I mean, if you're searching on it on the app or on the web. You'll find Resident Evil 3, the 1999 version, is available for purchase because you could buy it on PS3.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't work. It works on PS3 and Vita. And I've always been annoyed that they haven't brought those forward. Like, there's tons of PS1 classics that you can buy, but they don't work on PS4 and they're not going to work on PS5. And it's like, that really sucks. Because it would have been a lot easier to play Resident Evil 3 and 2 and 1 and all the other games I'm planning on replaying if I could just do it on PlayStation 4 or 5. And it is sort of leaving money on the table because I would have paid for all of those games on PS. I mean, I already paid for them all way back in the day.
I know.
But like, I would have paid for them all. Like, and I'm sure Capcom would love to have sold me them. I'm amazed they haven't re-released them on PC, but that's an entirely separate discussion.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just maybe it's because backwards compatible really isn't that bigger of the deals for me at the end of the day. Maybe it's just that for me, but I'm just like, I think ultimately what's hurt them is that obviously we know the sell process of the PlayStation 3.
I mean, the PlayStation 3 is an entirely separate issue from everything else because of the way they built it.
Yeah, but like what they've done is also like what happens, what customers hate. You've given them something, which they did in the PlayStation 2 and the beginning of the PlayStation 3 era, because the PlayStation 3 was backwards compatible for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
and then they took that away.
Yeah, it was backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Like the first model that they released.
Yeah. And they took that away, and I think sometimes people are just like, we had it before. Why can't we have it back? Type of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't deny. I think deep down, if Sony really wanted to get do this, I think they really would. But I'm guessing they're just they must see something that shows them that it's not that big of a priority for our gamers on PlayStation. Deep down, that's the only thing I can think of.
But yeah,
because I think if they really wanted to do it, they would do it.
There's the second issue as well, which is games history preservation, where it's like there's just games that you just can't play anymore. There's a lot of them, and that fucking sucks because like you put your work in, you do it, you like make this game, people play it, people love it, but now it's like it's 2020 and no one play it anymore, and that's shit. Like even PC has this issue, like
yeah.
But it would be nice if these consoles moved forward and also allowed you to just play whatever came out on them in the past. Like Xbox is trying to do. I know their backwards compatibility list isn't 100%. But I mean, they're definitely trying. And yeah, it's like, well, you think about like the Mass Effect trilogy, for example. It's currently playable on Xbox. Like, in its entirety, it's currently playable on PC. But like imagine if that just wasn't the case. Like, take the PC out of the equation because obviously PC's a separate thing entirely. Like imagine if those games were PS3 exclusives. Sorry. Like the Mass Effect trilogy only ever released on PS3, and then it's like cool, you can't play it anymore because hey, the new box came out, and we're not going to let you.
Yeah, I understand that. I do understand, like you say. I think it's one of those things of that I don't have no skin in it type of thing, maybe. And maybe if this was really on something that I played a lot or something, then it might bite me in a different way or something. But
it'll bite eventually. Like for me, it's like I don't have a math like I see and agree with the history preservation argument. And with the other side of it, with them just not having access to games I want to play, it's like I'm very selfish in that I don't really care about it until I decide I want to play something. Like Resident Evil 2 and 3, for example, like the old ones. Where I was like, well, now it's a problem for me because now I have to figure out how I'm going to play these games.
Yeah.
And it's not as easy as buying them on the PlayStation Store and downloading them.
Yeah.
Also, I pulled up an article. I did a quick Google search, and there's an article from 2017 on gamesindustry.biz. 50% of Xbox One owners have used backwards compatibility. That's the headline title.
So that's about 20 million units.
Yeah,
give or take.
Give or take, and it's used. It's not like it doesn't go into details about how much time people have spent playing it, but it also does mention that Xbox 360 titles were usually in Microsoft's daily ranking of most played games. So take that for whatever it's worth.
But Xbox One didn't throw any good exclusives out, so.
Did Sunset Overdrive?
I've just been mean. I'm being mean.
Like, wait, did Sunset Overdrive? Halo 5's multiplayer was pretty good.
If Sunset Overdrive was on PlayStation 4, it would have sold better and would have been rated better. Guarantee that.
Oh, 1000%. Like, I have a chip on my shoulder about early days Xbox One reviews.
Do you think there's going to be a Sunset Overdrive 2 and PlayStation is going to be like, this is how you do it, Xbox?
No, it's never going to happen.
Well, they own it. They do.
They're making Ratchet. They're making Ratchet, and they're making Spider-Man for like the next 10 years.
That's true. Like, it's kind of depressing a little bit. And as much as we love Spider-Man and how great Ratchet has been, it's kind of depressing. You're thinking you've got an amazing studio and Insomniac. And
I mean, they were so into Sunset Overdrive though. Like Insomniac. Like they were so excited to make that game. I always go back to the pitch. I want to see if I can find it real quick. The pitch meeting. It's an amazing story. Here it is. The team received approval after the second presentation. After Sunset Overdrive was greenlit internally, Insomniac had to pitch it to a number of publishers. Insomniac wanted to retain brand ownership, causing some firms to opt out of publishing it. Drew Murray and Marcus Smith traveled to Microsoft Studios a number of times to pitch in the game. The main pitch began with the playing of Kick Out the Jams by MC5 and ended with Murray on top of a chair, mimicking how the game was going to play and the last-minute heroics. Microsoft was eager to work with Insomniac and agreed to fund and publish the game. So it was like Kick Out the Jams was blasting in this professional boardroom meeting with Microsoft executives, and you had Drew Murray surfing on top of a chair, trying to explain how the grinding mechanics and the gameplay mechanics worked. And I was like, I just picture it, and I'm just like, that's amazing. That's genuinely amazing. Like they really loved Sunset Overdrive, and I really loved Sunset Overdrive. Great game. Might replay that actually. Maybe I'll do
enough games in 2020 that have come out now. Do you need to play?
I'll do a retro replay game, retro review of it. Justify it playing it.
Do it in 2021.
2021 is gonna be even worse. Got one more Sony story. I'm gonna have to try and find the Insomniac timestamp because I want to make a timestamp for Sunset Overdrive. Just for that story. I love that story so much. I really do. It's nice when you things like that get humanized. But we've got one more Sony story. Sony reveals the install size of some of its PS5 games. This is from Wesley Yin Pool over at Eurogamer. Don't know what that accent was. He writes, Sony has revealed the install size of some of its PlayStation 5 games. Eurogamer, guys, you really got to stop. Please. Stop just repeating the headline as the first line of the news story, please.
Or you read it properly and delete that part.
No. Let them do the work.
Paste it.
Let them do the work. I copy-paste these things, right? Insomniac's Spider-Man Miles Morales requires a minimum of 50 gigabytes. According to the PlayStation website, the Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Launch Edition, which includes a remaster of Spider-Man PS4, is more than double that, weighing in at 105 gigabytes minimum. The eye-catching Demon Souls requires a minimum of 66 gigabytes. It's worth keeping in mind that the PS5 comes with a custom 825 gigabyte SSD at launch. This means Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Launch Edition takes up just under 13% of the PS5's SSD. It's also worth keeping in mind that the PS5 will let you install certain parts of games, keeping that overall install footprint down. I doubt you'll need a remaster of Spider-Man PS4 on your SSD if all you want to do is play Spider-Man Miles Morales, for example. Then why would you buy the Ultimate? Never mind. And you can expand you can expand the internal storage with SSDs that you buy, whatever. So this is the double-edged sword part of the console. The new console is going with SSDs. It's great for speed. We've seen the technical footage and the demos and whatnot of Spider-Man and how quickly it loads, but the double-edged sword of it is SSDs are more expensive. So they're pretty much the same size as the consoles that we have now. And the issue there is games are getting bigger. And especially if you're going to have lots of 4K assets, they're going to get even bigger. Look at the size. We're just talking about Spider-Man and Demon Souls. Look at the size of Warzone already on PS4 and Xbox One. And then think about how big that game's going to be on PS5.
I've just uninstalled Warzone on my Xbox.
It's what, 100 and odd? How big is Call of Duty Warzone? It's way over 100.
Next year, guarantee. Next year's Call of Duty is going to be a 200 gigabyte minimum.
If you want, with Warzone and Call of Duty and everything, yeah. But we're gonna hit this wall, I think, very quickly.
Hell yeah.
And it's gonna be an issue for games like Warzone, like Destiny, live service games that have massive install file sizes already. And then, yeah, all of a sudden it's going to be like 200 gigabytes, and that's a lot of a percentage of someone's hard drive.
Wow, we're going to buy some SSD memory cards. Remember memory cards, ladies and gentlemen? Long ago. Oh, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. Wow. We all love those, and that's what's going to happen. So, yeah, we knew what was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. It was always something. It was always going to be a double-edged sword in some sort of way. We knew that, and
it's a problem for the future. In 2 years we'll be talking about this, where it's just like it's actually a problem, whereas right now it's a hypothetical problem.
Yeah, right. It's future Moody and Amy's problem.
2, 3, 4 years from now, the Xbox Series XXX will be out with its much bigger.
The XL.
The XL will be with its much bigger hard drive, and the PS5 Pro will be out with a much bigger hard drive because they're cheaper now and all that. That'll solve the issue for people who haven't jumped into the next generation yet. And people like me will just be like, "Well, fuck, I can only have one game installed at a time."
That's just the thing that's going to happen, sadly.
Yeah. I remember memory cards, too. I actually, funny, I'm wearing my Silent Hill 3 t-shirt. I borrowed a PlayStation 2 off my friend, who I was living with at the time. We were flatmates. I borrowed his PS2 and bought a copy of Silent Hill 3, because it wasn't on Xbox, and that's what I had.
Yeah.
And I was playing it through, and I was like, I'll save it. Like, I've been playing for a couple hours, I'll save it. His memory card was full. Do you have another memory card? No. Can I delete stuff off your memory card? No. Shit. So I had to play the whole game. I did play the whole game in one sitting.
Without dying?
Without dying. It was... Silent Hill 3 is already a scary game.
Yeah.
It's even more terrifying when you know you can't die.
Respect, Amy. Respect.
Oh, it gave me some heart attacks though. There's like this one bit where you're walking through the what's it called? The fun house, the haunted house type thing.
Yeah.
And there's one bit where the fucking ceiling comes down, but it stops just before it hits you. But it came down, and I was like, and this is like an hour from the end, so I've been playing for like 10 hours or something, and I was just like, ah! And then it didn't kill me, and I was like, I nearly died in real life because I couldn't. I was about to lose like 10 hours progress. Like, oh. Everyone's got a memory card story though, like something like that, I'm sure.
I won't lie. If you actually would have died there, I won't lie. Your character here, not you. I think your friend's PlayStation 2 might not have survived.
No. I would have just fucking launched it at him, just like you fucking dickhead. Bang!
Something like that, yeah.
Keep your fucking stupid PlayStation, you bastard. With all your Pro Evolution Soccer save data, you wouldn't let me delete. And your 10 Metal Gear Solid 2 fucking save files. Crap.
Like Metal Gear Solid 2, that's fair, but Pro Evo just smashed that bugger. Delete.
Nah.
I would have held them down for you and let you delete them.
This was obviously a long time ago.
I know,
talking about
PS2s.
No. We're talking about PS2s, man. Like, we're on PS5 now.
No. How old are we going to be when it's PS10? We're not going to be alive for that. We're not going to be.
The world isn't going to survive that long.
Yeah, true.
We've got an NPD breakdown for August 2020. So for anyone that doesn't know, we do this every month. Matt Piscatella from the NPD group puts out all of the sales figures in up on his Twitter. There's a video, like the NPD basically tracks all the sales figures in the United States. Pretty sure it's just the United States. And we get all these cool lists and facts and stuff. And basically it tells us how well games are selling in America, which is a good indication of how well they're selling in the rest of the world. The top 10 best-selling games of August 2020. At number 1, Madden NFL 21. Number 2 was UFC 4. Number 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 4, Ghost of Tsushima. Number 5, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 6, Ring Fit Adventure. Number 7, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 9, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 8, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 9, Paper Mario, The Origami King. Number 10, Mortal Kombat 11. There was another new release that came out, PGA Tour 2K21. That was in number 14.
The month of Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo games are becoming the Grand Theft Auto 5 games of the NPD.
They really are.
Where it's like they're always there and you can't get rid of them.
It's bonkers, but
Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, it's like, just fucking get out. I'm sick of you. Go away. Does everybody not own you already? Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, the top 2 is not a surprise. Madden, UFC, that's just come out.
August is Call of Duty.
So. Modern Warfare is going to still be there until the new one comes out in November. And knowing that, I'll still be in the top 10 by now, even after that. So, Animal Crossing still going strong. Congratulations to Tsushima. Amazing success. It just keeps on having legs, which I'm so happy for a lot of it, for the developer himself and all the hard work they put into it. Mortal Kombat 11, that just seems like just keeps on hanging on in there right now. It came back up like 2 months ago, and then it's just like
the expansion came out a couple months ago, and that's when it came back, and then it was like, all right, man, makes sense. Like the DLC came out, and then it was like, still here. Maybe there was a sale. Last month. Because like they were talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake shot up the chart as well, but that was because it went on sale for the first time last month. The top 10 best-selling games of 2020 year to date are number 1, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 2, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 3, The Last of Us Part 2. Number 4, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Number 5, Ghost of Tsushima. Number 6, Madden NFL 21. Number 7, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Number 8, MLB The Show 20. Number 9, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 10, Mortal Kombat 11.
And this one is the PlayStation one, basically, because you've got Last of Us, Final Fantasy, Tsushima, and then MLB. Again, congratulations to all of them. So happy. A lot of them are great games there. Like, you got Last of Us. Animal Crossing has been a phenomenon this year. Final Fantasy VII is Final Fantasy VII. It was always going to do good in sales terms, but like to hear like a lot of people have enjoyed the game, and even though I'm taking my time and I am enjoying the game as well. It's a shame the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot couldn't have had the critic score for me, as well as the sales for it. But no, yeah, congratulations! I'm really happy for all of them. It's bonkers to think that. Well, I'll say one more. Madden. It's not even been out a whole month yet, and it's already in the top 10.
Well, this is what happens,
of the year.
Like
that's the power of sports and IP, ladies and gentlemen. People have got to remember.
Avengers is going to hit the top 10 next month, I'd imagine.
Along with FIFA.
Along with probably FIFA.
Yeah.
Like so, and they'll be like the 2 best-selling games of September, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And then both of those will slot somewhere in the top 10 a day. That's just how it works. Like,
and then when December comes around, wrapping up,
games publishers
will hop right in there.
Games publishers are kind of been trying to like move away from the whole messaging of like launch week sales being important, but like the NPD numbers clearly show that launch week sales can be massive.
Oh hell yeah, yeah!
And no game ever moves up the year-to-date best-selling list. Like, it doesn't happen. Like NFL 21, like, isn't going to suddenly be at number 1 next month. Like, it might jump Ghosts, maybe, but that'll be about
I could see it jumping the PlayStation games.
Like, the biggest number of sales come in the first week. Still.
Yeah, guaranteed, yeah. Like when we were talking about The Last of Us, 4 million in 3 days.
Yeah.
You don't get that sales for no reason, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, yeah. That's just how it works.
Final Fantasy, I believe, was 3 million?
Somewhere around that. I remember the email. I don't remember what it said now.
Yeah. And Ghost of Tsushima sell, like 2.7, I think, wasn't it?
No idea.
I think it sold over 2 million in like a couple of days. Which is obviously fabulous, which is fantastic.
And then that's the order that those 3 games appear in the sales table. Tells you exactly what you need to know.
The big question is, will we have 2 Call of Duties in this at the end?
They'll be the top 2
Probably.
games. There's only 2 games that could possibly be the best-selling game of the year that aren't Modern Warfare at this point. One is Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, and the other one is Cyberpunk.
Or FIFA.
And Cyberpunk's an outside chance. There's no way FIFA will be the number 1 best-selling game in North America.
Oh, this is just for North America.
Yeah, this is just the North American one. Like, FIFA's not going to be the number 1.
So game. Yeah, this is just the North American one. Yeah, I can see NFL going up. The longer the season goes on and everything, the more people are going to want to play it.
Well, it depends. Maybe people are finally getting... Like, it seems quite low. I can't remember where it was last year. But then it's sold better. But then there's bigger games. Like, it's not going to move too far up. Like I said, maybe 4th. It's not going to... It's not beating the top 3.
Probably not, yeah. I agree with
that. There are some notes that I took. Matt has lots of notes on his Twitter, and I always like to pull a few ones that I go, oh, that's interesting. Madden NFL 21 was the best-selling title of August, with double-digit percentage dollar sales growth when compared to the release month of Madden NFL 20. It's the 21st consecutive year that a Madden NFL franchise release has been the best-selling game in its release month. Madden NFL is the best-selling sports video game franchise in US history, and it's also the 3rd best-selling franchise overall. Ever. Of all time. Of all genres. UFC 4 set a new franchise launch month sales record for an Electronic Arts published UFC title. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was the 6th bestseller of August on Nintendo Switch. It has ranked among the top 7 bestsellers on Switch for 42 consecutive months. It's the 10th best-selling game on Nintendo platforms in US tracked history.
That's something, that.
Not Switch. Nintendo.
So, that'll only start going down when the sequel comes out.
Yeah, probably. Well, I always remember once we did the NPD. I don't think it was the NPD. I think it was just a news story we did on Eurogamer the month, like a couple of weeks after the Switch came out. And in the UK, so it obviously wasn't the NPD. In the UK, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on Nintendo Switch sold more units than the Nintendo Switch. More people bought the game than on the console.
Power of capitalism, ladies.
So, like, yeah, Zelda being, like, ridiculously, like, big sales numbers doesn't surprise me because, again, more people bought... Like, it had, like, a 102% attach rate or something.
Yeah.
Just... No game does that. Like, no game does that. Breath of the Wild. That's what happens when you only release your console with 2 games. But, you know...
But one of them was a really big game.
Nintendo Switch set a new US August hardware dollar sales record, besting the August 2008 dollar sales of the Nintendo Wii. Nintendo Switch unit volume more than doubled when compared to a year ago. So doubled its sales of August 2019. And year-to-date spending reached $29.4 billion, 23% higher than the same period in 2019. People spending money on video games.
During a pandemic.
Where they still got the money. It is interesting that spending, like general video game spending, hasn't slowed down even in the run-up to next generation console releases, because that's normally what you see.
Yeah.
As people are like saving for the consoles. But also, normally, right now, in a normal console release cycle, no games are coming out. Like, there's nothing of note for like months in the run-up to a new video game console, and that is just not the case right now. Like Hades just came out, and it is the best reviewed game of 2020 on OpenCritic. Like, games of consequence are still coming out, and we're 2 months away from new consoles, and that kind of mind blown to me. Like that's crazy. Like this is probably going to be like the best launch window for like games on next gen consoles ever. Just from like the likes of Cyberpunk and Yakuza and Assassin's Creed and all the other like big games that are coming out that wouldn't have otherwise.
What you're saying is very intriguing because like a lot of big sites like PlayStation, Xbox is like saying, and we know Xbox like they know they've lost Halo and everything like that, but they're still saying this is still a great lineup for Xbox players, and so is Sony and everything like that.
Especially for Xbox players.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Everyone's like, oh, they don't have anything. And I'm like, that's the thing about it. It's what? Because it's not exclusive. You say they don't have anything. And that's the thing about it that baffles me. Yeah.
Which I think is the argument people are trying to make. And I get it, because you can't play all of these games on your Xbox One or your PlayStation 4. So there is that argument to be made that there's not really an excuse to jump in, as Xbox would say. But at the same time, I mean, if you want to buy a new console, the games are going to be there. Like, for the first time ever. Like, we're not all going to be playing Resogun because that's the best game you can get on PlayStation 4. Like, Cyberpunk's going to be out. That instantly blows anything out of the water from most console launches since Halo, probably. Yeah. Like...
Thrown in with the power of the IP that what is a Spider-Man game, or Spider-Man in general. Throw in the power of even though the company's a shitbag of a company in Ubisoft, but Valhalla's still going to sell well. We know that it's Assassin's Creed. That IP is a powerful IP. I just don't. I see. I understand what you're saying. I'm just like, it just doesn't make sense. I can understand where the argument comes from. They haven't sold me on the console to make me go out and get one. I understand that because, like I said, it's a brilliant article what you've got saved up to talk about shortly. Which is I completely agree with everything what it says. Like, but I'm just like, they have games. They just haven't sold you on why you need this console, which is a completely different argument, you know?
Yeah, like
guys, these gentlemen need to relax.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna buy a console, there's games there for it. Like, if you're not, the games are still there for you. Like, so you've got it both ways. You've got it both ways, but there are games there. It's why I kind of went a bit off on one when Halo got delayed, and the discourse from a lot of people I follow on Twitter or on YouTube was, well, now there's no reason to buy an Xbox. I was like, motherfucker, that's just not true. Like, and now we know the Series S price. That's really not true. Like, there are plenty of reasons to buy an Xbox if you want one.
Exactly.
And the same with the PS5. There's plenty of reasons to buy a PS5 if you want a PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Just because some of the games aren't going to be exclusive to the next generation. Like, if you want to play them on the 4K with the SSD and doing the fast things, and it's going to look amazing, and it's going to be smooth as butter, and, you know, then, yeah, there's tons of stuff you can buy. Anyway, one of those games I was talking about is the subject of our next news story. Cyberpunk 2077 will be slightly shorter than The Witcher 3 because players complained of The Witcher 3 was too long. This is from Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer, who writes, Cyberpunk 2077 developer CD Projekt Red has revealed Cyberpunk's main campaign will be shorter than that of The Witcher 3 because the studio, quote, got a lot of complaints, end quote, about the length of Geralt's story. In an interview after the latest Night City Wire stream, senior quest designer Patrick K. Mills acknowledged the team was mindful that as a tremendous amount of people never made it to the end of The Witcher 3, it decided to make Cyberpunk 2077 slightly shorter. Quote, we do know that the main story in Cyberpunk 2077 is slightly shorter than The Witcher 3. We got a lot of complaints about The Witcher 3's main story just being too long, and looking at the metrics, you see a tremendous amount of people played through that game really far, but never made it to the end. We want you to see the whole story, so we did shorten the main story, but we have lots to do, and in terms of a completionist campaign, I just don't have that number. End quote. I remember this discourse. I remember it when Witcher 3 came out. It kicked off a lot of people talking about the game being too long. And I remember thinking at the time, that's bonkers. And, like, it was 5 years ago. which is crazy, I think. But like even now, when I definitely appreciate shorter games, like more than I did in 2015. Like it's still bonkers to me that, like, well, the game's just too long. It's like, I mean, okay, that's cool, but maybe it feels too long because you're not digging it. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
finished the
no,
shit out of
that
that
is
game.
understandable. Yeah, yeah, I see where you're coming from with that. There's no doubt about it. I'll say this is a good thing. They've seen the metrics. People aren't as not as many people, even though as many people they've played this game and played it for many hours. Not maybe not as many have completed what they maybe wanted it, and they've took the decision to maybe shorten it. I'm very intrigued how much. If it's just 5 hours, I'm just gonna say fuck off right now. If it's 10 hours, I'm gonna say f off as well. I'm gonna say, but no, yeah, yeah. Oh, it just says again like they do listen. They are listening to people and everything like that, which is fair and which is good at the end of the day.
Like,
Because I can guarantee you right now, ladies and gentlemen, Rockstar aren't looking at them extras. They're like, how long can we make
let's make
GTR
it even
6?
longer and more boring. Hot Red Dead Redemption 2 take. Not the story. The story wasn't boring. The game playing the game was boring. But I like the idea, like, because a lot of game campaigns are too long, but not
Yeah.
in the way I'm guessing people meant back then. They're too long in the way that they're so stretched out because they want them to be longer. Like, so you can say it's a 50-hour campaign, it's a 100-hour campaign, and most games, like, you'll hit points, or you'll hit a point where it's just like, all right, this is padded out. Like, you could have cut a bunch of stuff out of this. Like, I know it's not the longest game in the world, but my go-to with this is always Alien Isolation, which goes on for about 4 hours too long. Like, there's a part of that game where it ends where it could have ended perfectly, and the game continues for like another 4 hours, and a large chunk of that 4 hours you spent going, why is this still happening? Like, why am I still playing this game?
Yeah. Kind of makes you want to get face hugged and then just get the misery over. Because I love that game, but even I admit it's overly too long.
Yeah, I love that game to death, but I loved it less after I finished it because I went through this gauntlet of just being like, this should have ended like ages ago. And there's a lot of games like that where you just think this could have been shorter. This could have been a more streamlined experience, and it would have been better for it. Not necessarily just this should have been shorter. Like,
the thing is, when people say the thing is when people say it's shorter, it's just like the story or the game is just not clicking with you at the end of the day. When
sometimes that's the case,
yeah. That happens to a lot of things. Like when I review from films, sometimes I literally just say it felt a little too long, and that was like the story's dragging a little too much here. You'd like just wrap it up, stop going on. All right, you don't need to go left, just go right. That's the end point. Go right, please.
Stop going left. Stop it.
Screw the person who's about to die. Just leave them. They deserved it. They went that way because of their stupidness. Go right, please, and all like that.
I know, 100%.
And yeah, and it's just that type of thing. Yeah, it's just like it's the story or the gameplay. Just they have to try and find that right balance and act. And I'll admit myself, Witcher probably is an overly long game, but you can't take anything away what they did for that. The story I thought was still phenomenal. I think it was just, for myself, I just did too many side quests and I should have concentrated a little bit more on the story. I wanted to make myself as strong as I could so I can make him out the boss a little bit more easier. And that's just me.
Yeah, I did so many side quests, they were starting to go grey in my quest log. And I was just like, I'm doing them because I'm enjoying them. Like I do monster hunts, like monster hunt contracts or whatever they're called. And it would be like, they'd be like 15 levels like below my character level, and I'd just be like, I'm doing this because I'm enjoying it, because I want to do it. Like I would do because the side quests in The Witcher 3 were, and still are, some of the best side quests in RPGs because they're treated with the same reverence and respect, and they're given the same weight as the main story. Like there's cutscenes and storylines and like voice acting and stuff to it, which like you don't always get in RPGs.
Like no one's hit that level compared to them.
Yeah,
no one has. Like Assassin's Creed have tried to do it, but their side quests have been a little bit too many. Oh, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
These ones,
big style.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed goes in the opposite direction in terms of
Yeah.
the side content.
Yeah, these ones they do. They put a. That's the thing about why I think people love them so much is that they have the much love and dedication they put into every little ounce of the game. I can appreciate why people love them or why they're the biggest European company, I believe now.
Probably, I'm not sure.
I think there's a story that came out for that, but
I don't
know. They're amazing. What they do when it comes to their dedication for the game, and if they took the little bit of feedback just to make that a little bit shorter, more than 10 hours, please.
Like the only other game I would say is like really fucking long but earns its length in the same way as The Witcher 3 with Persona 5 that I've played since The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Persona 5 was like 100 hours, but it earned being 100 hours long, like amazingly enough. But not many games like do earn that length. Like Dragon Age Origins, maybe, I think. Probably Skyrim, just because of the way its world works. That's all I can really think. Nier Automata. But then you're starting to like drop down and down and down, and then you're starting to think, well, Last of Us Part 2 is the perfect length, but it was only like 20 hours long. Like, it was much shorter than the other games. But yeah, like, I think there's a benefit to making the critical mission path shorter, but making more optional side content, but making that side content meaningful, and maybe like in The Witcher 3, which I'm sure is what they're doing for Cyberpunk, make that feel just as important as the main story stuff. So if you just want to get through the campaign and do that, you can do that in 20, 30, whatever hours. But then there's a wealth of content out there for you if you want to go out and explore and do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I think this is the last one I'll read. Looking down. So I don't think we need to do anything else, but I wanted to mention this one because it's weird. It's not weird, but it is weird. Halo co-creators Disintegration shutting down multiplayer servers in November. I guess the multiplayer servers are disintegrating. It's from Matt Wales over at Eurogame. I swear I didn't leave this in just because I could make that joke. This is from Matt Wales over at Eurogamer. He writes, Disintegration, the sci-fi shooter from Halo co-creator Marcus Leto, will be ending multiplayer support across all platforms, Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC, on the 17th of November due to a lack of sufficient audience just 5 months after launch. Developed by V1 Interactive, Disintegration sets its enthusiastic first-person shooting action against a futuristic backdrop of climate change, pandemic, and war, splitting its focus across a strong single-player campaign and a selection of multiplayer modes. Quote, while our player base showed interest in the single-player campaign, the game unfortunately struggled to build a significant audience necessary for a compelling multiplayer experience. After weighing options, we have collectively made the decision to sunset the multiplayer support, end quote. Private Division says it will begin phasing out multiplayer support in stages ahead of its full shutdown on the 17th of November. And today, so sometime last week, we'll see the removal of Disintegration's in-game store. The publisher does stress, however, that the game's single-player campaign is unaffected by the move and will remain fully playable. This is the first time I've thought about this game since June, which probably is a big part of the problem. Because I also didn't play it. I read the thing on this podcast when it came out, and I was like, oh, it's out. Wow. I was shocked that it had come out. Yeah. And then I didn't pick it up, I didn't play it, and nothing ever like jumped out at me to say, hey, you should try to give this game a go. And considering we just did a marathon, like, month-long stream of all the Halo games, i.e. co-created by this person, and I never jumped into, like, Marcus Leto's newest game. That says a lot about... I think marketing was maybe a bit of an issue with with this game, but it's crazy that they're turning the multiplayer servers off like 5 months after the game came out.
Apart from you saying you read it, I can't remember you saying I can't remember you reading it out. I had no idea what this game is until you told me about it. It sucks
She said that last time as well.
of the team. Like the team who have obviously worked their asses off, especially on the multiplayer part, will be very, very disappointed with what's happening. At least the single player element is still there, so at least people are seeming like they are playing their single player and enjoying it. But yeah, this does suck. I'm disappointed for it, but again, I agree with what you say. This is clearly a lack of marketing. Like I had no idea what the game was until you said it, and well, I didn't even know I rephrase that. I didn't know the game existed until you told me about the story, and I don't even know what this game is. All it says is
definitely, obviously, done it in the games out this week section back in June.
Oh, I don't deny you have. But you've read a lot of them as well, so like there's a few games that you say.
I'm just saying, I've definitely told you about this game at least once.
No, definitely, I agree with you there.
Yeah, I just brings back memories, painful memories of Lawbreakers, which I still say was a good game. I enjoyed the shit out of that game.
Is that your team game next? Is it? I think it was good actually.
Maybe. There's no point in doing a Lawbreakers was good actually team name because Lawbreakers doesn't exist anymore.
Oh.
That got shut down months after it came out. Devastated.
Mm.
Really enjoyed that game. Yeah, it's one of those. It's also one of these things where it's like, don't forget, they can just turn these things off on you whenever they want. You put money down to play this game, tough shit. They're turning it off. Fuck you.
You don't give us money? Fine, we'll get rid of it.
What about us? We gave you money. Tough. We don't care about you. We've got your money already. We want their money. They're not giving it to us. So we're taking our ball and we're going home.
We're taking your money and we're going to put it all on black at the
and we're going to make another game.
I had a perfect thing, and it just
we're taking your money, and we're going to make another game, and then we're going to make you pay for that one as well.
Yeah,
like this, that's the other thing. It's like people will have been burned by this. Obviously, not many, because I imagine it didn't have that big a multiplayer population. But people will have been burned by this, and then it's like V1 Interactive are going to come out with another game in a couple of years, and there's going to be people who are just like, I don't trust you. Like not after last time.
yeah. That's true.
So that it's a hit to their reputation as well. There have been some new game announcements, Mooney. I think we should talk about those now. I'm assuming you agree, because if you don't, tough to my podcast. It's actually might as well be our podcast at this point. I think this is the longest consecutive like pairing ever of like two hosts uninterrupted. Like, so I'm pretty sure like all of 2020 has just been me and you.
That's fair.
I think it's.
It has been. I think I've missed about 2, maybe 3 episodes.
Yeah, but I think they were all last year. Like when
I'm sure I've missed one. I'm pretty sure I've missed 1 episode or 2 this year. Pretty sure I have.
I don't know. I was auditioning people for Keith's role without telling them. That's not true. I was just trying desperately to keep the podcast together while I figured out what to do after Keith left.
Keith left you in the lurch.
And then you just stepped up and you were just like, I do this every week. And they went, ha 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 ha. Bet you wish you hadn't said that now. Some new game reveals. No Man's Sky Origin is a new update coming next week. 2 new Monster Hunter games got revealed. Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2. Both announced for Nintendo Switch. Both coming in 2021. Sniper Elite 4. Coming to Nintendo Switch this winter. 2 new Monster Hunter games.
They're exclusive to Switch, aren't they?
Stories, but Stories 2 will be, because Monster Hunter Stories was exclusive to the 3DS. I don't really know what Monster Hunter Rise is.
Monster Hunter. Someone's rising.
I know you can write a dog in it, because that was
the final monster you killed in Monster Hunter World is now rising up.
It's now rising up. Monster Hunter Rise builds on the open world exploration style. Blah 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 blah. New gameplay elements. It'll be joined by an amiibo. It's coming to Switch next year. I wonder if it's just like a version, like not necessarily a version of Monster Hunter World, but like it's like we couldn't get World to work on Switch, so we've made a different one and we're putting that one on Switch.
Sounds about right, doesn't it?
Because I think it might be because there's amiibos coming for it, so I wonder if it is a case of.
Oh yeah, that sounds exclusive.
It's an exclusive, but then there's like a Monster Hunter World 2, like in development as well for PS5 and Xbox.
Has that been announced yet?
No. But I'm just wondering if they're too. Like,
it's a safe bet. I agree.
Rise is just
the best-selling game of all time.
A version of the blueprint of Monster Hunter World that works on a Nintendo Switch. And Stories 2 is its own thing. It's like a narrative-driven Monster Hunter type thing. I remember the first one and not being able to play it. Huh?
We'll team up for that one. Because I know you played the first one by yourself, didn't you?
Monster Hunter World, I did play it by myself because nobody would play it with me.
I think I was playing on Xbox and you were on PlayStation, I think?
I was on PlayStation.
Yeah.
No, was I on PlayStation? Yeah, I was on PlayStation.
That's the answer. No, wait. No, PlayStation had a year's exclusive, didn't they?
No. Did they?
No.
I don't think so.
No,
I know they revealed it.
They got the marketing rights and everything, didn't they? So
they definitely revealed it because I remember like very briefly thinking it's Bloodborne when the trailer started.
It looked like it could have been Bloodborne. If I remember rightly, when God of War was revealed.
Yeah, it was part of the second Conference of Dreams.
Yeah, because you had E3, which was the Conference of Dreams. You got the 2013, which was the Conference of Dreams, which was 2-1-2 punch of the price and selling renting.
I never really called that one the Conference of Dreams. That was just a good.
Then the second.
That was the conference of we've just choked Microsoft out.
Yeah. Then 2014, I think was just an E3.
E3.
And then 2015, that was the big one when they obviously revealed Horizon, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last Guardian again, I think.
2015 was the first Conference of Dreams because that was Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. Horizon,
Final Fantasy, Last Guardian,
and
Shenmue. And then 2017 was Conference of Dreams 2, and that was God of War.
Wasn't the next one?
Yeah, 2017. 2016, that was the next. 2015 was the first one. 2016 was the second one, and that was God of War, Spider-Man, Death Stranding,
Monster Hunter.
Was that
Resident Evil 7?
Hold on, I want to check because Monster Hunter World.
Pretty sure it was revealed at E3.
E3 2017, so that was the year after.
Oh, okay.
Resident Evil 7 couldn't have been revealed at E3 2017 because it was out in 2017. So yeah, that was part of the Conference of Dreams too.
So it was 2016 then.
Well, that was the thing where they were like, "Hey, remember Kitchen?" And I was like, "I remember Kitchen." Well, it's actually Resident Evil 7. What? It's in VR. The whole thing's in VR. Oh my god! What?
And it's out in January 2017.
If I remember rightly, I'm sure they played like people reacting to it on the thing.
I think so, yeah.
E3 2017, that second Conference of Dreams was just something else. Like, that was Crash Bandicoot as well.
Yeah. He teased us that PSX. And then he
did it. But he walked out and he had the shadow follow him.
Yeah.
While the orchestra was playing the Crash Bandicoot. It was just like, it was such a good fucking conference. How did that end? Was it Days Gone?
Yes.
Yeah. Man, someone needs to do it. Someone with a YouTube channel needs to do a breakdown of how perfect that conference was. E3 2016 PlayStation conference.
Yeah. The big rumor was that the Days Gone was not meant to close it. It was meant to be apparently Red Dead 2. So I heard that rumor after E3. But I was just thinking, that just doesn't sound right. We know Rockstar do their own thing.
Yeah,
God of War. The internet just by getting people to look at a teaser trailer.
God of War, Days Gone.
20 seconds long.
The Last of Us The Last Guardian got a release date.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Horizon Zero Dawn gameplay demo. There was a Detroit Become Human thing. Resident Evil 7 got revealed and it was going to be in VR. PSVR got a release date. There was some VR stuff. More VR stuff. Crash was back. More VR stuff. Force Awakens, Death Stranding, Spider-Man. Like, fucking Jesus, man. How did we survive that conference?
How did we survive the first couple of conferences they did when they just came out? Boom, 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 boom.
Holy crap. Like, this is why I want them to come back to E3. Shit like this. Because they put on a show, man. Like, I love Xbox, and their shows are usually consistently pretty good, but they've never done anything close to that. Cool. Some release dates. Because we're actually still in announcements.
We just literally just waffled on about E3.
I could talk about the Conference of Dreams for hours and how perfect.
I might rewatch it again. I might just sit back and.
I think I'm going to watch it again tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
God of War.
And just try and put myself in that mindset. I was in Russell's living room. Like, I was doing live reactions with Keith and Russell, and my brain just melted. I specifically remember at one point I didn't even see Spider-Man at first because my brain wasn't overloaded. Kojima had just walked down the stairs and he was like, "I'm back," and then he showed the trailer for Death Stranding. It was like 3:00 in the morning, and I remember Keith having to say it's Spider-Man, which just snapped me out of this weird like thing I was in where I was like, "What? It can't be Spider-Man. No way." It was.
It's Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man. What the fuck is happening?
I love the working title for Spider-Man. Spider-Man PlayStation 4.
Spider-Man PlayStation 4. And then it just ended up being called Spider-Man anyway.
Marvel Spider-Man, yeah. I was thinking, what?
Alright, cool. We got some release dates. We've got a lot of release dates. Observer System Redux is a launch title for PS5 and Xbox Series X. Katamari Damacy Reroll is launching on PS4 and Xbox One on November 20th. Battle Sister, which is a Warhammer 40,000 game, launches on Oculus Quest on November 12th. Multiplayer launches in Beat Saber on October 13th. Empire of Sin launches on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch on December 1st. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond launches on Oculus, all Oculus platforms on December 11th. Twin Mirror launches on PC, PS4, and Xbox One on December 1st. Amnesia Rebirth launches on PC and PS4 on October 20th. And Ghost Runner launches on PC, PS4, Xbox One on October 27th. Most of that happened in one day, because I remember my fucking phone going absolutely berserk with all these release dates, one after the other. For a lot of games I'm interested in. Like Amnesia sequel. I never thought we'd see that. I just figured it was one and done. I never thought they'd go back to it. Twin Mirror's cool. I'm very surprised that's coming out so quickly, considering that's a Dontnod game. And, like, their latest just came out. Like, within the past few weeks.
Yeah, all out in September. It's all out now, so yeah.
I'm going to play it this
game, go and check it out. Tell me why.
I'm going to play it this week so we can do a spoiler cast for it the week after. It's me and you'll just spoil the shit out of it while we discuss it, like we did with The Last of Us. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond's being developed by Respawn as well, and I do have an Oculus, so might give that a shot. I said at the beginning of the year I was going to play more VR games, and I've played one all year. So that happened. Free asterisk games, because only some of these are actually free. Because it includes like Game Pass and stuff. I just put it all in one section, basically. Shut up, baby. Just read the games. Football Manager 2020, Watch Dogs 2, and Stick It to the Man are all free on Epic Games Store until September 24th. Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 is now free permanently on all platforms. Rocket League is going free to play on September 23rd. And then we got a few Game Pass games announced. Company of Heroes 2 is going in Game Pass for PC on September 17th. Destiny 2, Shadowkeep, and Forsaken are going into Game Pass on Android and console on September 22nd. Halo 3 ODST is going into Game Pass on Android and PC on September 22nd. Night in the Woods is joining Game Pass on Android, PC, and console on September 24th. Excuse me. And Warhammer Vermintide 2 is joining Game Pass on Android and console on September 24th. Lots of big hitters there. But I want to give a shout out to Vermintide 2 really quickly, because it's a fun co-op game that not enough people played. I really enjoyed it when it came out.
I'll give a shout out to Life is Strange 2. Really enjoyed that. First episode I really enjoyed as well. Definitely give that a try. It's a fun show, fun series. And hopefully Dotnod have now found the proper formula for themselves where they don't delay the episode length, the separation, but they get them all out within like a month or two or something like that, which is, I think, will be a far better thing for them.
Honestly, I think they just need to start releasing games or series as full games. Even if they are episodic in terms of structure, just release the whole thing at once. Because what's happened is the same thing that's happened with a lot, like even Life is Strange 2, which I never played. It's like, even though these games, tell me why, they came out 1, 2, 3 weeks over the course of like 3 weeks. Like, I got it in my head to be like, well, cool, I'm going to wait until the last episode is out and play it. And then it just disappears from our brain. And it's like, I think the time of episodic game releases is kind of over now. I think they got big at a time when less games were coming out. And there were gaps in like release schedules, whereas now there's just no gaps. Like once a game comes out, it comes out. And I think people, like, you know what I mean? I think maybe not. I think maybe it's just the time has passed for that kind of release schedule. For me personally, like that's what I believe.
Oh, don't deny what you're saying. Factually, you're spot on. The episodics have died out, and they really only came really big because of one game, and that was the Walking Dead series. We all know this, ladies and gentlemen. As much as like Walking Dead season 1, 2, all of it. I haven't done 4 yet, so I can't comment on that. But I really enjoyed the Walking Dead series. Tales of the Borderlands was phenomenal. I thought that was so good. But they also had some mixed hitters like the Game of Thrones, Batman. I hear was good, but also was mixed at the same time. I never played it, so I can't comment. I'm only going off what I heard. So
careful. You'll hear my fist talk shit about Batman again.
All right.
Batman was great. I will hear no other argument.
All right, good for you. But I think, like, say, at all, like, at the end of the day, we all know, like, Microsoft probably covered the costs for this game, so whatever is happening right now, whatever money's going out, they're getting some money for it, even though it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, well, it's on Game Pass, so they got paid.
Yeah, so they're covered for it, so we know that. It's going to be very interesting to see. Like, I think right now, if this has done well, and because they've released them like back to back in weeks and everything like that, I think that's all right as a proper TV show, not waiting months on end for each episode and everything. I think if they got it do it like that, I think that's not a bad idea. But I do agree with what you're saying. Episodic games have their time has come and gone.
Yeah. Like, there was no way, like, and as much as great, and I've heard amazing things about Life is Strange 2, but there was no way I was going to remember to play that game 5 times in 1 year. Like, there were 5 episodes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, I just, I don't have the time for that. Like, an episode drops next to another game that I'm covering, and that's it. It's game over. Like, so it is a weird one.
I understand.
Twin Mirror's a one game, so I guess we'll see. Like, if Twin Mirror does like substantially better than Tell Me Why, like, or if it doesn't, like, maybe episodic games can still work in Game Pass. Maybe possibly, like Game Pass is a perfect model for it.
Possibly.
You don't need to worry about buying season passes or buying episodes. Or you just jump in and go, cool, I'll play this. Boom.
I highly rate it to everybody. Tell me why.
I will put, like I said, it's on my list to play this week, which I'll talk about. I want to talk about at the end of the show.
You can get done, I would say, within 8 hours.
Cool. Like, just a day then. I've got a week off, so.
And I think I'm being generous on the 8 hours.
But we'll do a spoiler cast for it. Not this week, but next. One last announcement: the 3DS has been discontinued, officially discontinued. They don't make them no more.
We knew that was coming.
Yeah, that'll happen eventually.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think this though is.
Hang on for a while.
One of my predictions I'm going to do next year a little bit more. Yeah, I think it's going to happen now, even more. So I'm like, yay. But I'll save that till January.
Fair enough.
2021, whenever we get out of this decade of 2020.
Yeah, sometime. It'll end eventually. Anyway.
3 more years.
3 more years. We got a content drop. Of some articles you should read.
3 more years.
You should watch.
Content drop for 3 more years.
Yeah. So we got a couple articles, a video, and then I've got my last week on Words About Games segment. All the links that I'm about to talk about are in the description below the video. Go check any of these out. You should check all of them out. I think they're all cool. But, if something grabs your attention, go check that one out first. The first one is an article from GamesIndustry.biz that Moody hinted at before, which is titled No, it's not. The one you hinted at before is the one next to it. So the first one is from Eurogamer, because apparently I can't read. And it is titled, PS5 is a surefire hit, but Sony's broken promises are eroding trust. Which is all about the aftermath of what the fuck went down last week, which we've covered to death in 2 videos now. About the PS5 showcase, which, it's an article that admits that the PS5 is going to fly off the shelves, because of course it is, but PlayStation are probably spending goodwill at this point. And that is not an infinite resource.
Thing is, goodwill can easily be fixed.
It can if you actually go to like gain it back, but when you start spending it, all of a sudden it can run out.
Oh, I don't deny what you're saying there, but yeah, they can replenish it quite easy, and we all know that. So, look, go and check it out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, all you have to do is look, God of War.
That's what they did at the end of the conference.
That's what they did. They can distract everyone so easily.
That's the thing.
Look, Uncharted, boom.
Yeah, so strong. They know that. That's the thing about it. And if
they could do another Conference of Dreams, they could legitimately do another Conference of Dreams next year. If you think about it, right? They could show God of War 2. They could show God of War 5, I guess. They could show Horizon Forbidden West. They could show Final Fantasy 7 Part 2. Like, they could reveal a new Uncharted. The guys who make the first-person shooters at Guerrilla are probably making some shit. They could show that. They got Ratchet and Clank. Like, they could... Kojima is obviously working on a game. It's like, they could just do it again. Like, at will, almost, at this point. Like,
and don't forget Silent Hill.
Yeah, and then that's got to happen eventually.
Yep.
We're in Fable territory. It's going to happen.
Yep, exactly.
The next article is the article that Moody mentioned before, which is titled, PlayStation and Xbox have both failed to sell next gen. This is an article over at GamesIndustry.biz, which talks about exactly what the title says. Neither company has done a particularly airtight job telling us why we should definitely have to have one or both of these consoles in our lives.
Yeah, there's not like before the prices all dropped and all like that. We 2 weeks ago were talking should they delay, and we both agreed saying they probably should.
Probably.
They aren't, because like Jim Ryan says, the games industry recession proof apparently.
It's recession proof, meaning recessions can't touch the games industry.
The thing is, right now, I kind of see where he's coming from, and I kind of agree with him. Because it probably is, Amy.
It's not.
Nothing's recession-proof. Nothing's fully recession-proof, but it's going to sell like crazy.
Oh, I mean, the PS5 is going to sell well. There's no doubt about it. The Xbox Series X and S will sell well. Again, there's no doubt about it. The Switch will continue to sell well.
Yeah. During the time where everybody, quote-unquote, kind of had expendable money,
there's a very short window where people have expendable income.
Yeah. And instead of saving that bugger, people...
And that window is closing.
Yeah.
The third item on the content drop is a Polygon article. All the weirdest stuff we've heard about in Crusader Kings 3. It's awesome.
Weird?
Just read it. The crazy stories that are coming out of this game are ridiculous. Like, my favourite one, there's a dude, there's a person, I should say, who was writing a Reddit post, whose main character was widowed 4 times in 8 years, and their husbands just kept dying, and and it turned out the game generated this really long running plot where tons of people were just dying in their court and stuff, and it turns out it was their evil twin. Plot twist. 25 years of in-game time, and it turns out it was their evil twin. And I was like, fucking hell. The game just generated that plot on the fly. I really wish I could get into this game because it sounds amazing, but I've tried and I can't, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Because the story stuff sounds great, but I just can't play it. It's too complicated. I need easy.
Complicated.
I need to just throw Captain America's shield at someone. Also, we've got the latest No Clip podcast, Spelunky 2 with Derek Yu, which talks about the making of Spelunky 2, which came out last week. Probably. I'm thinking it did come out last week. It might have been the week before last. Who knows? Anyway.
Are you going a bit soon, Amy?
Maybe. Last week on Words About Games, I put out 3 videos that went on this podcast. Marvel's Avengers 50 Hours Later, in which I wrote 4,000 words about Marvel's Avengers. And
you've
my
played
experience.
just as much hours that we've done with Apex this year in one game is insane. By yourself as well.
No, in 1 month, I think it was. We've put in way more than 50 hours into Apex Legends this year. But yes, it turns out when you just sit in front of it for hours on end with podcasts after podcast after podcast going, it turns out you can rack up a lot of hours in a game really quickly.
I hope you got a lot more podcasts because you've just unsubscribed to a few of them, you said.
I did, yeah. Don't worry, I've subscribed to a bunch of new ones. I also put out a video of me playing Spelunky 2, an awesome game I'm terrible at. I couldn't justify doing an impressions video of it because I literally, I've played the game for about 5 or 6 hours and I've successfully gotten out of the first world 3 times.
Is it only on PlayStation or is it on PC?
It's currently only on PS4. It's coming out on PC in 8 days.
Cool.
And lastly, the PS5 showcase impressions, which was myself and Mui discussing the PS5 showcase impressions.
I was maybe a bit tame in certain elements of the thing. I've already apologised. Leave me alone. I'll say that.
Don't worry. Now. I came out swinging. So.
Oh, she came out swinging. There's no doubt about it, ladies and gentlemen. Amy was ready.
Actually, no, not true. I didn't come out swinging because we talked about the games first. And I thought the showcase games thing was fine.
Yeah. It was
so
good,
I think I ended swinging. Where I was like, what the fuck is the rest of this shit? Final Fantasy 16 was great. Miles Morales was great, but what the fuck was basically how the showcase impressions video went.
The more I think about that show, the more I literally think they ended it like a Michael Bay Transformers movie. This is like, okay, we've got to finish this up. We've got to wrap this up. Michael, directed by Michael Bay.
Linkin Park song starts playing.
Yeah, Linkin Park in the background. Something like that, yeah.
He did. Like, all of a sudden, the picture came up, and it just went, bang! And then it was over, and it was like, what the fuck was that? It felt so tacked on. Like, it felt so tacked on. It felt like they weren't even going to do that, which is the crazy part. It felt like they only put that part in the showcase because Xbox's prices came out. And I feel like if Xbox had stuck to the plan and probably done their prices later, it feels like that part wouldn't have even been in the showcase.
Yeah.
But anyway, I said all of that and a lot more in our PlayStation 5 showcase. Link to the description below this video. There are games out this week, Moody. Let me tell you about them.
Apart from 1 week this year, every week has had a game out.
Yes. There was 1 week where I did the bit where I was like, a game's out this week? None.
None.
0. Yeah, sorry.
He took a week off.
Yeah. There were games I just didn't know. I just went, fuck it. Who cares? On September 22nd, Pendragon comes to PC. AD 673. Camelot has fallen. The Round Table must rally to save King Arthur. It's a narrative strategy game from the creators of 80 Days, with elegant tactics and a unique, dynamic story every time you replay.
Wait, I don't want to die.
Huh?
I don't know. It says every time it dies, every time I play, so I'll just literally go, oh, that sounds like a word, like, die and go back and try and save Arthur again.
There are a lot of roguelikes out at the moment. On September 22nd, we've got 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim for PS4. Vanillaware, the storytellers behind Odin's Sphere and Dragon's Crown, craft a sci-fi mystery epic spanning 13 intertwining stories in 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. Uncover the truth and delve into a 2D side-scrolling adventure featuring gorgeous art and environments. Then, battle the kaiju in fast-paced top-down combat. Customize the Sentinels with an arsenal of mech suit weaponry and fight to defend humanity.
Did you see Japan has built a big-ass version of the Gundam?
Yes.
Like, greatest thing ever. They're going to take over the world.
Yes, they are.
With Gundams. And I kind of respect that.
Or there are kaiju and we don't know about. Because it's 2020.
Yeah. It is 2020.
And we still got like 3 months.
The only thing that would make this world go even more crazier.
Pacific Rim's about to happen. It's just like, oh my fucking god. Godzilla just suddenly appears in Osaka. Like, oh no. Okay, who had kaijus? Who had kaiju on the bingo card?
Who bet kaijus would turn up?
Somebody probably has. September 23rd.
£1 million.
On September 23rd, Art of Rally comes to PC. Race in the golden era of Rally. Drive iconic cars from the 60s to Group B on challenging stages through stylized environments inspired by real-world locations. Will you master the art of Rally?
So do you think Godzilla will protect us, or you just say, fuck you, human race?
I don't know what's going to happen. Not genuinely. But I know that Japan has a Gundam to fight it with.
That's true, so. Yeah. He's ready. We're ready for
They're
him.
ready.
Let's hope Japan tries to save us.
On September 24th, Serious Sam 4 comes to PC and Google Stadia. Serious Sam 4 reignites the classic FPS series in a high-powered prequel loaded with an explosive arsenal, intergalactic carnage, and perfectly timed one-liners. Also on September 24th, Going Under comes out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Going Under is a satirical dungeon crawler about exploring the cursed ruins of failed tech startups. As an unpaid intern in the dystopian city of Neo Cascadia, you'll wield office junk as weaponry as you make your way through the offbeat procedural dungeons beneath your company campus.
Who do you think wins, Gundam or Godzilla?
It depends on what the Gundam's made out of.
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
Like, it depends
It
how
has
they
to be
build
able to survive fire.
Yeah, it has to be able to survive a heat breath. But what's it made? Like, what's it armed with as well? Like, Godzilla
Has it
doesn't
ever
go
been
down
saber?
easy. Like, Godzilla don't go down easy. And then you got to think, what if like Mothra shows up? Like, could get really
Those two,
complicated.
they cooked up. Remember in the last
Like,
one.
there's a lot of monsters in Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could go.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of killing that Gundam needs to do.
But it's just like, why does this Gundam exist? Well, kaiju, right?
That's...
On September 25th, Port Royale 4 comes out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Set sail and join the colonial powers of Spain, England, France, and the Netherlands in their fight for supremacy of the Caribbean in the 17th century. And lastly, on September 25th, Mafia Definitive Edition comes to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. An inadvertent brush with the mob thrusts cab driver Tommy Angelo into the world of organised crime. Initially uneasy about falling in with the Salieri family, the rewards become too big to ignore, which everybody's been there.
Yeah, I would become a gangster just for some little extra money. I wouldn't mind that.
I mean right now, yeah, I need PS5 money. Who do you want me to
whack? Yeah. I hear like Mafia. Like I enjoyed it when I first played it years ago. It was a good little game.
I remember getting Mafia 2 for free with a graphics card I bought, and I played it and I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Mafia 3 I played and I was no.
Mafia 3 was garbage. I was so
good
disappointed about that.
Which was really disappointing because the story, like the opening as well, was amazing. I mean, the gameplay was terrible mostly because it was buggy as shit, but the story seemed like it could have been really good.
Yeah.
Let's play OpenCritic head-to-head. This is the game every week myself and Moody will try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever gets closest gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. And last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. And we did what we always do. We guessed way too high. Ironically, if this had been...
Bloody game mechanics bit us both in the ass.
If this had been Hades, you would have won. But we didn't know that was coming out. Yeah, I guessed it would get a 91. Moody guessed it would get a 93. It got, at the time of recording, an 84 average on OpenCritic because apparently the ports aren't particularly different from like it seems like they've done no remastering whatsoever. From what I've read, which is fine because obviously it's an 84, still really high, and a lot of people really like it. But some people have kind of noted that these are basically emulations of the games that came out.
Not the emulation part. That did say the thing that'll screw us both over for not getting in the 90s is its game mechanics.
Yeah, which
and if it's just a plain on port, and it was so
that happened. That puts the current scores at Amy 17, Moody 15. I've stopped the slide. Moody was gaining on me, like really quickly. With 2 draws. I've guessed closest so far in 2020 on Dreams, Warcraft 3, One Punch Man, Half-Life, Alex, Resident Evil 3, Gears Tactics, Legends of Runeterra, Deep Rock Galactic, Man-Eater, Xenoblade Chronicles, West of Dead, Ghost of Tsushima, Other Side, Surgeon Simulator 2, and Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I also guessed correctly the score for Carrion, and Moody has guessed closest on Zombie Army 4, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, XCOM Chimera Squad, Command & Conquer Remastered, Iron Man VR, Deadly Premonition 2, Fall Guys, Total War Troy, Flight Simulator, Avengers, and Necromunda, and guessed the score correctly for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. The 2 draws were The Last of Us Part 2 and SpongeBob SquarePants. This week, we're going to guess, because I completely forgot. Again, I think it was just because I couldn't read. I completely forgot that Mafia Definitive Edition was coming out. So this week we're guessing Serious Sam 4.
Didn't know there was a Serious Sam 1, 2, or 3.
I mean, they are pretty like classic games, to be fair. Like, they're not unknown quantities. But you are a late bloomer with video games, so.
Yeah, I admit that. Yeah.
I mean, also,
I did a little research. I checked them out. I went, okay, All right.
I don't
There's a
think
simple
the
trend here.
I don't think the
70.
Serious Sam historical like game scores would apply because they were so long ago, and I'm pretty sure they were made by different people. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm still going 70.
70.
Yeah.
I was also going to go 70. I'm now going to go 71. The reason I giggled was because I could have been really immature about that and gone in the other direction. But I'm choosing to go 70.
It's gonna annoy you now because you know what's gonna happen.
It's going to get 69 and I'm going to fucking punch. I'm just going to punch this fucking webcam off its thing next week when we do OpenCritic Get Dead. Just fuck! Oh, man. Yeah, so I've got a week off.
Right, yes, you do.
This week. And I've got all my videos. I'm going to have all my videos done tomorrow, Monday, basically.
Yep.
We've already recorded a fantasy game league update. Obviously, we've recorded this podcast. I've got a Hades video written already. I just need to record it and edit it. And I've got an indie game of the week written and recorded. And by tomorrow afternoon, I'll have a Necromunda video written and ready to go that I just need to do. So I'll do a bit of work tomorrow. And then after that, I'm going to play some games. I'm going to go back and knock my empty can over for the 4th time. And I'm so glad it's empty because I just destroyed everything in this room. So I'm going to go back. I want to go back and play some single player games. And I was looking at my list of like games that I want to go back and finish. Like you can see it here. It's all like check boxes. So I can check them. And some of them are games that I was going to finish, but I know I'm like Trials of Mana's on here, and it's like no. I'm not going back to that. I'm just not. Like the time has come and gone for when I could have finished that game. But it's like, oh, what do I play? Because I've added Hades to the end of that. Because I played a lot of Hades. And it's like, I'm so close. But I don't think I'm as close as I think I am. Like, and it's like, what else? So I got Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think I'm going to go back and play that.
Yeah, that didn't click for you. So
it did. Fun. It just... So it's one of those things, right? Like last year, I played Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon, which is like the Koji Igarashi game. And I loved it. It was on my top 20, I think, games of the year, because I do a top 30 list every year. But I did come a point in that game where I just went, cool, I'm done. Like, like this is as far as I'm going to take this. Like, and it wasn't like, oh, I didn't click with the game or anything. It was just like, cool. Like, I've reached a point where I'm comfortable stopping, and I've had my fun, and now I can just put the game down and walk away and be fine with it. And I think I reached that point in Ghost of Tsushima where it's just like, cool, I'm done. Like, I've played as much of this game as I want to play. I think it's really good. And I think the law of diminishing returns kicks in. And it's just like, the more I play it, I'll probably still find like bits to enjoy and stuff, but like the less I'll be enjoying it as time goes on. But like at the moment, I'm like, because I feel like I've got Wasteland 3 and Spiritfarer, and I want to go back and finish those 2 games. But I feel like if I commit to either of those games, that's the entire week. Like that's the entire week for like to finish one of those games. And I've got some other games that I could complete. They're a lot shorter. And I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, do I go quality or do I go quantity? Like, do I knock out like 4 games on my list? Or do I go with Spiritfarer or Wasteland? Because those are the games that I probably want to do more. So we'll go back to all of these games eventually. But it could just be a case of going back to them during the Christmas break.
So your aim is to obviously finish a couple of videos tomorrow, get them all edited, and then get them all set to drop for the next week.
Just like have the whole week ready to go.
Yeah.
So the next thing I would be doing, because I'm on an unofficial Twitch break, the next thing I would be doing would be our podcast next Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like from Monday night to Sunday night, basically.
So you've got 6 days then, basically.
Like, I'm trying to decide whether to sync a longer game or sync like a few shorter games.
For me, that's it. That is an interesting one. I won't lie. For me, one I'll say right now, like I've already said, that's just Smash Tell Me Why Out. You can get that.
I'm
done
doing that
Tuesday.
anyway because I want to do our discussion.
Yeah, I know that,
but like I'm taking my time with it.
Games,
like,
so
I'll play like one episode, and then I'll play the next episode like a different day, and the next episode a different day.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you got that. How far would you say you're away from Spiritfarer finishing?
I don't know.
So I can tell from some because I'm like, to give myself a little hand, I'm like watching a little bit of a walkthrough and everything like that, and this person's walkthrough is 2 parts, and both are 8 hours long. So
yeah,
it's a 16-hour game.
But I also think that, like with walkthroughs and stuff, they usually edited around like downtime. So let's consult howlongtobeat.com. So the main story is 21 hours ish, and the main plus extras, which is how I usually play games, is 29 and a half. And I've probably done about 5 or 6.
Oh, Spiritfarer.
Yeah, I've gotten like one person through the gate, the spirit gate, whatever it's called, and I know there's a lot more to do. It's not a short game. I know that. I knew I'll be passing.
And you also want what else do you want to play? Wastelands.
And there's Wasteland 3, which is probably about 20-30 hours as well.
So how about just knock like a couple of hours off a day?
Just like do both.
Yeah, you can do both basically. Knock a couple of hours off both day.
Yeah.
Then give the other games a chance. See how they are. If they don't click with you, there's your answer to. Then you maybe can go back and knock a couple of more hours.
No, both games. I already know both games click with me. Like I
don't mean those two. I mean the other games that do the quantity.
Oh, the quantity games. Well,
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Like I haven't added every game I've played this year on the list. So it's like other games like Rocky or Relicta, where it's like I would like to go back and finish them, but they're not high on my priority list.
Yeah. If they aren't high on your priority list, that means you're going to force yourself to play something that you're not really like really wanting to do. So for me, I would probably go back to the quality thing.
Yeah, probably right. Like, yeah, you're probably right. Like when I say they're not high on my priority list, it's like I still want to finish or at least play more of them.
Yeah.
It's that weird thing of like most people probably have no idea what the fuck I'm even talking about. It's one of those weird being a YouTube person things where it's like I play a game for a bit, then I do the video, and then I usually have to bounce and move on. And unfortunately, because between Avengers or Halo streams and playing Apex with Moody and Keith, it could be difficult sometimes to find the time to go back and play single player games. Because I get a text message, like before we played Halo, I'd get a text message like, "Let's play Apex," and I'd be like sitting down just about to play Wasteland or something like, okay, 1 sec.
That's why we aren't winning many games. Your heart's not fully in it because we've distracted you.
No, I'll be honest, my heart's not fully in it because I don't know how I feel about the armor change in season whatever it is 6. I think we're on now.
Yeah, I've barely played it. Like I only played last time I played it was you with you and Keith. So
I mean, Sam, I knew we weren't going to play it last month because we were playing Halo, like for charity. So I knew that was gonna put the brakes on.
And we've still got to finish 5 as well. We haven't even started that
I wish everyone would stop bringing that up. But okay, we'll get to it. There were technical issues. Moody hadn't downloaded the game. My internet didn't work. It was a whole thing. I'm taking a break from streaming. I'll come back. We'll play Halo. Keith decided to become incredibly unavailable all of a sudden.
I said, I mean this with love, Keith. We don't need you, so it's all right.
No, I need him.
Oh, okay.
Because when you start moaning about Halo, Keith usually mediates between the two of us.
Yeah, sure. Also, it's to keep you sane, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. You were there during the Halo 1, Halo 2 days of me wanting you to just go away, and I just do it myself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but this is the thing. They've got the things I like now. They've got sprint button. They've got they've got the assault rifle in the game.
Can I be honest with you? Like last month, right? I can't hear the word sprint anymore without twitching. I just can't. You could be talking about going for a sprint, and I'll just be like,
I'm going for a sprint at the gym tomorrow, Amy.
I'm gonna fucking kill you, Mooney. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out where your gym is from Sophia, and you're not making it out.
You could hit me with some drums later.
I'm gonna write sprint on a mallet, and I'm just gonna smash your face in with it.
No, boy.
Where's your sprint button now, bitch? Like, oh man, I never I mean this with love, Moody, and this is the last thing I'll say before we end the podcast. I mean this with love, but when we do the next charity stream, I am never playing an old game with you ever again. Like, for as long as I live. If you come up to me and you're like, hey, let's play this game from 2005, I'll be like, bitch, no. You're on your own. Nah. Absolutely not. If it's not a game,
no. With myself, yes.
If it's not a game that came out in the last 3 months, I'm not playing it with you. I'm not even going to be on the couch while you play it. It's not happening. And I mean that with love.
I understand and completely respect what you just said there. I would do the same. I can be annoying. I'm amazed I've been in a relationship with my partner for 10 years. So
one day I'll get Sophia on one of these post-show podcasts to explain exactly how that happened. But for now, all I'll say is thank you very much for watching episode 224 of the Words About Gamescast. I've been Amy, that's been Mooney, and hopefully you've had a good time. See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. We're doing Simpsons quotes. Dope. That was the first one that came to my head. Why was it so shit? The one I always do is, let's blow this pasture's popsicle stand. And it's becoming more and more relevant every day.